Hi guys. C-Drama greets you. Kuching suddenly felt like his heart was twisting in a knife, but he got of Ayan waiting for help, so he endured the discomfort and entered the god-killing flower land again. The god-killing flower was entangled like a vine, and it was difficult for Kuching to escape. In desperation, he had no choice but to get rid of the pain in his heart, and he succeeded in getting the magic marrow. Just as Kuching was leaving, a voice came from a distance, asking him whether it was worth putting Day's Mountain in danger to save Ayan, and laughed at him that his true god had not yet formed. On the other hand, Xianxia fluttered his wings and flew away, not daring to stop all the way, and fled towards the Tiangong with King Yun, but his way was easily blocked by Hong Yi, who had turned into a demigod. Xianxia couldn't believe that Hong Yi would become like this, protecting King Yun with his life, but Hong Yi didn't delay at all. The wheel of annihilation appeared in his palm, and the wheel was ignited with scorching fire, but she would be defeated and died if she couldn't resist it for a moment. Xianxia felt sad and slowly said her last words. Hong Yi saw her crying and regained consciousness in an instant, trying to control the demonic energy in her body. In this way, Xianxia realized that Hong Yi had never meant to massacre Daishan, and a surge of hope arose out of despair, and he shouted with all his strength. Unfortunately, Hong Yi's consciousness could only last for a moment. When the demonic energy regained Hong Yi's body, she and King Yun were hunted down by Hong Yi again. At the critical moment, Yufeng Immortal Lord and others appeared, and the Immortals worked together to trap Hong Yi. When Hong Guo saw this scene, he remembered that half of his demonic energy was still in Hong Yi's body. He must not be allowed to be captured and alert the heavens, so he had to show up and try his best to save him. However, it was difficult for one person to resist the Immortals, so he was injured and fled. When Kuching entered the Jiayuan evil prison, Bibo used his magic power to maintain Ayan's life. After Kuching came back, the magic pill mixed with Jiayuan demonic essence really had a miraculous effect. After taking the pill, Ayan's white hair turned back to black. When he woke up, the first time he woke up, he saw Kuching standing in front of him with injuries all over his body. Seeing Ayan return to normal, Kuching hugged her excitedly. Ayan was stunned on the spot, hesitating for a long time before reaching out and hugging Kuching, and unexpectedly shed tears of joy. The two finally faced each other's feelings calmly. At this moment, a bell rang outside. Everyone looked back and found that the restriction of Fire Phoenix Jade had disappeared. The Heavenly Emperor's bell belongs to successive Heavenly Emperors. Although it cannot defend against enemies, it serves as a summons. When the Emperor's family members were in power, they issued immortal orders. All the immortals who appeared on the Emperor's bell when the Heavenly Emperor's bell rang must be summoned. Rushing to the place where the Imperial bell rings means that something big is going to happen. Kuching, Sheen and Ayan hurried to the territory of Day's Mountain. The 9-star lantern and the sky thunder had disappeared, and it was rare for all the immortals in the heaven to gather together. The immortals stepped aside one after another, leaving a path leading directly to the mountain gate. As far as the eye could see, it was all ruins. In a short period of time, the whole mountain was destroyed, and all the masters were dead. Only the fairy formations shining with fairy light in the sky were transformed by the fairy spirits after the death of everyone in Day's Mountain. It turns out that fairies are the souls of immortals, and they still have to enter the ghost world and enter the 6 realms of reincarnation. What they will be born into in the next life depends entirely on their fate. But if the fairy refuses to enter the ghost world and be reincarnated, it will disappear in 3 days at most. They would rather give up the opportunity to reincarnate in order to protect Zeshan. All the immortals could feel the grief that Kuching was suffering, but no one wanted to speak out. In the end, it was Yufeng Immortal Lord who spoke, word by word, telling the story of how Hong Yi massacred the immortal sect and hunted down Yan Shuang and Cheng Yun. Kuching was silent from beginning to end. Ayan felt uneasy in his heart and stretched out his hand to pull Kuching's sleeve. Before he could touch Kuching, he saw Kuching walking towards the main hall and kneeling deeply on the ground. Bow down. In the blink of an eye, a small divine light flashed until it enveloped Kuching's entire body. The seal of the true god was broken. The true god Yuanqi appeared in the world, and the sword spirit of the ancient emperor sword recognized its master in public. The immortals were shocked when they saw this, and they all knelt down to worship the true god. Hua Shu took the opportunity to propose severe punishment to Hong Yi. Ayan looked at Kuching and his eyes flashed across her body, but at that moment, she seemed to see herself turning into dust in Kuching's eyes. After returning to the heavenly palace, Hong Yi was bound by a fairy rope and escorted over. When he heard the crimes accused by Hua Shu, he hurriedly explained the whole story to everyone. Unfortunately, no one believed it. Only a Yin was willing to defend Hong Yi. Thinking that Yanshuang and King Yun were seriously injured and still not awake, Kuching ordered Hong Yi to be imprisoned in the demon locking tower. In a few days, he would be bombarded by the 9 heavens' mysterious thunder. If it was true as Hong Yi said, Then the 9 heavens' mysterious thunder would force out the demonic energy. Since Yuan Ke's identity was restored in Kuching, all the immortals have treated him with respect, but An felt that he was already above the world and would never be able to return to the mortal world again, and a sense of strangeness arose spontaneously. King Lin learned that Kuching was the son of the true god Yai and the emperor's family, and was a little worried despite the surprise. He hurriedly went to Lin Mo to discuss rescuing Hongyi. Lin Mo persuaded her to take a long-term approach. Hongxi brought Chang Cheng, the director of Qingqi Palace, to see Kuching. First she congratulated him, and second, she handed him the Mountain Gate Scroll. The Mountain Gate Scroll that year recorded the brothers and sisters, but now they have disappeared without a trace along with the immortal essence, leaving Kuching in sorrow. An's voice begging to see him came from outside the door. Kuching guessed that the other party was interceding for Hongyi, and chose to avoid seeing him. Mention in the comments if you are waiting for the next episode.